Welcome to How to Win Back Your Mind. In this short teaching video, I want to give you some practical techniques that I use to help me win the war of losing my mind so I can freaking have my mind. I'm coming at you live via this recorded video from Costa Rica. So let's jump in. Now that we've had some fun together via the parody video, how to become more addicted to your phone, let's talk about how we can win back our minds. And first off, let's not demonize the phone. I don't think the phone, all these accessible devices that connect us to the world and potentially disconnect us from ourselves, I don't think they're bad. Clear my throat. I don't think they're good either. I think they are just potential. So the purpose of this video is for you and I to really take more control over our minds. So I'm going to start practical, then we're going to end up a little bit more abstract. So let's streamline through this. The first practice that I'd invite you to consider using to win back your mind is this. I'm holding my phone this whole time. It's like, wow, am I really a hypocrite? I'm attached to my phone this whole time when I'm teaching people how not to be attached to their phone. Do as I say, not as I do. First technique is batch your communications. How many dings, texts, phone calls, and Facebook messages, emails do you get per day? Who knows? It's probably dozens. So instead of being drawn to your phone dozens of times per day, you and I get to have much more control over our day and our mind when we have batches of communication. So in other words, we have designated times throughout the day where we get to our communications rather than our communications getting to us and disrupting our day no matter what we're doing. So what this does from like a physiological perspective, about to sound smart, from a physiological perspective, this keeps you in a proactive state, not a reactive state. When your phone dings and you just react, like I'm going to take each message as it comes in and make someone else's priority my priority, that actually puts us in a stressful response physiologically where we're reacting all the time. Physiologically, when we're in a reactive state, that's actually a stress response. It's a threatened physiological hormonal position that we're in. Now, is it the same level of threat as if someone has a gun to your head? Probably not, but it's still a level of stress response we put ourselves in. The key word is we put ourselves in there if we consent to a reactive state, but being more proactive with our batched communications, where we might say at from 11 a.m. to 11:30, I get to messages. Then 3 to 3:30, I get to messages. We all need to choose our own adventure, but the point is we choose our adventure when we get to our communications in batches. Feel it. Second technique is super simple, and it is give yourselves 30 minutes of time away from your phone first thing in the morning and last thing at night. So that means like after you shut your alarm off, you don't touch your phone for at least 30 minutes in the morning. And then last thing at night, like 30 minutes before you go to bed, you're not touching your phone. Why? This gives you more of your mind back. Our phones are inputs into our mind. So when we're being birthed into this miraculous gift called this new day, what if we gave ourselves at least a half an hour to get in touch with, what am I genuinely thinking today? What am I genuinely feeling today? What's important to me? Not what's on my phone that I consume and that goes into my mind, and then I trick myself into believing that's important to me just because it's the first stuff I saw during the day. And then same thing when we go to bed at night, like what are you taking to bed is a question we can ask ourselves. And if we're giving ourselves a 30-minute cleanse from our phone before we go to bed, then what we know is we're taking much less of this to bed with us, and we're taking more of ourselves to bed. Taking yourself to bed. Everybody does it. The third technique that I'd ask you to consider is a technique of deliberate intent. I said that with like a really stern tone of voice. Felt like my father yelling at you. Deliberate intent. What that means is, can you remind yourself before you touch your phone, get in touch with what is your deliberate intent? Why are you touching your phone? So in other words, can you connect with what is your good reason for touching your phone? What are you looking for? And when you have a good reason, cool, go find it. But if you have zero reason for touching your phone, then we jump on our phone. Typically, that's just a pure mechanism of us disconnecting from ourselves. So what I like to tell people is hunt, don't browse. Know what you're looking for on your phone, have your reason, and go get it. But if we go into cyberspace, we're really in a browsing posture. It's kind of like they say, don't shop when you're hungry, because you're just browsing and you're kind of in a way consuming everything. You're buying way more than what you would otherwise be hunting for when you're operating in a mindset of deliberate intent. Deliberate intent. The fourth technique I'd invite you to consider for giving you your mind back is a meditation technique. The FFF meditation. It's not copyrighted, but I coined it. FFF meditation means feel your freaking feelings meditation. By my estimates, that have no root in reality, but it's definitely a fact that my opinion is that my estimates are 90% of the time when we jump on our device, we're doing it to disconnect from ourselves. And when we're disconnecting from ourselves, we're really looking to avoid feeling some kind of sensation, worry, emotion, or joy inside of us. We're looking to not feel what we're actually feeling. So until we bring ourselves into, I would say, not the heart set, but the mindset of the courageous warrior who has the courage and vulnerability to face ourselves and therefore actually feel what we're feeling, then we're always going to be using these mechanisms of escaping ourselves. And I think our phone can be a crowbar that leverages us away from ourselves if we're not used to feeling our freaking feelings. So that's why I ask people to do a deliberate practice of feeling your freaking feelings, so we're not in a reactive, impulsive tendency to always be deflecting from our feelings. Getting to the point of this one. How to do the feel your freaking feelings meditation, apparently, is I'd ask you to sit where you're sitting, and assuming you're not driving a car or operating a plane or a submarine, you can close your eyes and you take 1 minute and you find a body sensation, a feeling, and you focus on it and you breathe with it, and you intentionally feel the freaking feeling for a minute while you're breathing. You're not trying to make it different. You're not trying to change it. You're not trying to get away from it. You're feeling it. So I invite people to do at least a minute every single day. And to me, this exercises our muscles and therefore strengthens our ability to stay in our integrity rather than always trying to escape ourselves. Our phone is one way we can do that. So with that said, thank you for joining me for this short teaching video on how to win your mind back. I'd ask you to take a look at these 4 techniques that I laid out for you. Pick one or one of your own creation and test drive it and see what it's like to be more intimate with your mind. Talk to you guys next time.